Okay guys, what we've got is just one coat, the first coat of white over the black car. Now again, just like any of the other projects, really only going for a 50% transparency. If you try to get full coverage on your first coat, you're going to put it on way too thick, and with the consistency that we thin it down to you for, it's just going to drip and you're going to get runs. Now if you get a couple drips or runs the first run around, it's okay, it's the first coat, you can easily cover that. But you want to go on a 50% transparency, the hood, everything. Just let it dry, let it get nice and clean, and then we're going to go ahead and put the second coat on. Alright guys, we're about 2 coats in now. This next coat is going to be the third coat. That's where you're really going to start to see that, rich white start to cover. I mean, after 2 coats you should have about 80% transparency. You're still going to see some weak spray lines. You're still going to see a little bit around the trim and some of those other areas that's going to have a little bit of the black showing through. So third coat now, we'll take it through that and we're going to get some good coverage now. Alright guys, this is now 4 coats on the M3. It's got complete coverage of the black. You definitely can't see the black anymore. We're still going to do one more coat because when you get that full coverage, when you get to that point, you always want to do one more. I mean, the protection's got to be there as well as the coverage. So we'll just take you on a quick walk around after the 4th coat. The grills are actually removed from the car right now because we're going to be doing those in black. The customer has that aftermarket bumper, which is now the same color as the rest of the car. We did black with 1 coat of silver metallizer on the wheels. Those are covered up right now, and we'll reveal those when we pull the car out. But everything's been going really smooth, no problems, no complications, and we're going to start the breakdown as soon as we're done with the 5th coat. Everything's pretty much dried up. We're going to start breaking down the car little by little now, and we're going to start with the headlight. Just like usual, we just went right over with all 5 or 6 coats on the headlight, and the majority of it's just going to peel clean off. And anything that gets left behind. Now here's a really interesting thing right here. This is exactly what you want to watch out for. Our headlight here has bonded just a little bit with the fender of the car, and you always want to look at things before you peel them. Now I could probably pull on this and there's a 50% chance that it'll just do a clean break, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an X-Acto knife and I'm going to make a cut there, because the worst case scenario, if I go ahead and start to peel that and there's a connection there that's strong enough, it's going to lift up the dip from my fender, and we really don't want to redo the fender at this point. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to peel the white off these hood vents. And what we did was we just masked the honeycomb in the middle, and we allowed the break along the edge of the vent to cut the dip. Just be really careful, make sure there aren't any connections made so that we don't lift the dip on the hood. Anything that got through you can just rub right off. And now you've got your perfectly etched out hood vent. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start breaking down the mirror caps here. And we covered that joint for obvious reasons. It's really going to save us a lot of time so we don't have to get any dip out of that joint. And then just use the tape line as a starting point and peel back around from there. The customer wanted the entire mirror housing to be black, but the mirror cap to remain white. We're going to use the lines already on the mirror to cut those. Now for the window trim on most cars, you're going to be just fine. You know, this car has stock black window trim, so it's got a great separation on the top and a great separation on the bottom. We should be able to just peel this off, no problem at all. Guys, this is the finished product. We've done 6 coats on the what used to be black M3, which is now a matte white M3. So I'm going to walk you around the car real quick. We pulled out the black vents in the hood. We pulled out the black kidney grille